On April 1, 2024, Zomi Frankcom and her World Central Kitchen colleagues were operating as unarmed humanitarian workers in Gaza, delivering food to a population in the middle of a conflict. That night, 7 members of the team were killed when their convoy was targeted in a multi-strike Israeli drone attack. In August 2026, following a 2-year investigation, the Israel Defense Forces reached a final verdict. The soldiers involved were cleared of all criminal wrongdoing. The ruling has transformed a clear-cut humanitarian tragedy into a high-stakes dispute over the legal definition of a war crime. Foreign Minister Penny Wong voiced the Australian government's immediate outrage, stating that the IDF's decision falls far short of the accountability expected by the international community. Israeli Ambassador Hillel Neumann defended the military's 2-year process, rejecting what he described as political attacks against the investigation's findings. This disagreement highlights an accountability gap, where the same set of facts are weighed as either a tragic operational mistake or a case of criminal misconduct. The Frankcom case now serves as the ultimate stress test for how allied modern democracies handle military accountability. An independent Australian review led by Air Chief Marshal Mark Binskin established that the World Central Kitchen had maintained a high level of coordination with the IDF prior to the convoy's departure. This map shows the planned safe route the aid convoy was authorized to take as it moved south from the Gaza maritime jetty. The first failure occurred when a locally contracted security guard fired a weapon into the air, leading IDF drone operators to misidentify the humanitarian convoy as a hijacked Hamas target. Identification was further hindered by the environment. The WCK logos on the vehicle roofs were invisible to drone optics in the darkness. Amidst the confusion, the convoy took a different route than initially coordinated, without successfully notifying the military. A critical breakdown in the chain of command followed when a specific no-strike order from a division commander failed to be communicated down to the brigade level overseeing the convoy. These compounded errors led the IDF to target and strike the 3 vehicles sequentially over a span of 4 minutes. This catastrophic cascade of systemic errors turned a coordinated humanitarian zone into a kill zone. The IDF Military Advocate General concluded that the strike was a grave mistake, driven by poor situational awareness and mistaken identification. Investigators acknowledged that while commanders severely violated standard procedures and rules of engagement, their actions did not constitute criminal intent. Instead of criminal prosecution, the military dismissed 2 commanders from their positions and issued formal reprimands to 3 senior officers. The IDF's legal stance is that severe professional incompetence in a war zone is distinct from a prosecutable war crime. Chef Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen rejected these findings, arguing that a military cannot credibly investigate its own illegal conduct. They maintained the IDF had full visual clarity of the clearly marked vehicles and knew the team's movements in advance. The Australian government has focused on the fact that multiple deliberate drone strikes occurred within a designated humanitarian fire control zone. For the victims' families, repeatedly striking an approved civilian convoy transcends standard operational error and demands criminal justice. The IDF report led to immediate diplomatic consequences, with Australia summoning the Israeli ambassador to formally convey the nation's outrage. The Frankcom family continues to call for an independent investigation and the full disclosure of all drone footage and audio evidence. This intractable disagreement has pushed Australia-Israel bilateral relations to a historic low point. This ruling sets a global precedent. If a prominent, highly coordinated NGO can be struck during a systemic failure without criminal accountability, the baseline protections for smaller aid groups are severely compromised. The final ruling on the Frankcom strike tests the fundamental protections of international humanitarian law in modern urban warfare. Who is accountable when humanitarian workers are killed in conflict? The dispute over Zomi Frankcom's death has become a broader test of accountability, the protection of aid workers, and Australia's relationship with Israel.